Where the fuck is the Veer?
Oh, shit, hold on.
He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
No, he wasn't ready. Where the fuck is the Veer?
I got two. Okay, so I found
You found Veer and his twin Veer.
yes, Veer and his twin Veer. There was another one I got, and I forget what it was, but it was a good one. I got a cool Seth Rollins one that looks like like the ones I got for Rhea Ripley. I got the same thing, but
Did you buy a new pack? Like, how'd you?
Yeah, I got a new
Okay.
pack. I saw one at Walmart. They're called hanger packs, and they come with 15 cards, and they're only $8. And I'm like, well, that's a fucking steal because the other ones only came with 4 a pack. Granted, it was like 4 packs, but or 6 packs, but still, it's a deal.
I got you. You.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast all about wrestling. In this corner, an author and a black belt, Kibbles.
Kibbles? What kind of name is that?
Pookie the Wolf is the best.
I forgot my copies. And in this corner, Pookie the Wolf.
Pookie the Wolf is one of the best.
Welcome to the Kibbles and Pookies Squared Circle.
What have you watched as far as recently? Because I didn't watch SmackDown.
Oh.
I just
I don't watch WWE. What are you, crazy?
I just caught up on Rampage. This morning.
I watched Dynamite, and that was it. Yo, I haven't watched. I mean, aside from pay-per-views, I haven't watched weekly WWE television since NXT went down the drain.
Interesting.
For a while I was only watching NXT weekly, and everything else was I would just watch the like YouTube highlights of the stuff I was interested in. Which honestly would be like I'd watch 2 segments and that was it.
Would you say it went downhill?
I would say it went downhill when Vince started taking over.
So when
and
Triple H got hurt.
He had his issue, and then all of a sudden it seemed like it just like stopped. Like they called up some talent. They got rid of a lot of talent. And then they were like NXT 2.0, and we're going to start.
Yeah, cool song.
Yeah, I feel like it was even before the whole NXT 2.0 thing. Like, it was kind of already going downhill. And
I have that sound. It's like, South Side slang.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck the song is.
I mean, ultimately, I mean, if you really think about it, it was kind of a couple weeks after, or maybe even a couple months after they started going head-to-head with AEW, and they were like, and they were like consistently losing, and then that's when it kind of went downhill. Because when they initially started going head to head with NXT, or when they initially started going head to head with AEW, they still had Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Like they still had all those guys.
He named literally everyone who's been over at AEW.
Yes. Samoa Joe.
Wow.
Like they still had, so if they had Joe, they probably had Karrion Kross was still in NXT at the time. Yeah, because like I think the main event for one of the first, the NXT main event for one of the first shows when they were going against AEW, was the main event was Adam Cole and Keith Lee, winner take all, the World Championship and the North American Championship. Or maybe that was like the week before they started going head to head or whatever. I remember like that specifically.
I would only assume that,
so yeah.
I would only assume that those two guys are like best friends.
Probably.
But let's okay, so I want to talk about, can you think of any negative stuff lately? I thought about so many things that I'm like, it's just like, for example, one perfect example, because I didn't think of like a narrow it down to what exactly.
Yep.
But for example, you were complaining a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, about Hook and how you're like, oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
He's
super fucking over.
So, talk about cutting momentum. They did a promo on Rampage for Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm like, I do not care about the Book of Hobbs. Just have him back in the ring.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if he's like injured and they're trying to figure out what to do with him.
Maybe.
Because they did like 2 promos where Taz was all about like, oh, it's the Book of Hobbs. And then he's
And
like
he's just doing like vignettes now. Where he's just,
promoing, and I don't know. I don't care about him.
I like Powerhouse Hobbs. You sounded so callous about it. I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't I don't find anything about him interesting.
I like him because he seems like a good powerhouse.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
I get it.
Oh my goodness. No, I legitimately didn't mean to do that, but I'm
Oh.
like, he seems like a powerhouse.
I think he could have had a cool rivalry with Wardlow if they hadn't
Yeah, that's what
if
I
they
mean.
hadn't like hot-shotted that.
He
for
must have got
the-
injured then.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Is he's injured? But I mean, they were more focused on the Samoa Joe aspect of that rivalry. You know, I still in my head, I still was like when they initially set up that triple threat match, I was like, oh, Powerhouse Hobbs is in this match, so he can eat the pinfall, and we can get another Wardlow Samoa Joe match.
Yeah.
Like I immediately picked that out. I was like, oh, one of these things is not like the other.
I always have the thought of like that would be cool to have Powerhouse Hobbs win a big title.
Yeah,
Because then you got like someone who's like, for example, if you look at the AEW title, the AEW World Heavyweight, whatever,
mm-hmm.
the concept that most of the people who've won that are like these medium build people. Granted, each of them have like a talent that makes them, great. Moxley's very aggressive but like I'd want to see like a big dude have the title and just be able to like just destroy people.
Yeah, I could see. I think part of the issue is that he is like he is someone that I feel like they don't know what to
I'm sorry, what do you mean by he? Like Powerhouse?
Powerhouse, yeah.
Okay.
Powerhouse, they don't know what to do with him, and they don't have any good plans for him. And I think part of that is because they have so much talent that they have a hard time even getting TV time for all of the super over talent that they have now.
Yeah.
So it's hard to justify giving a lot of TV time to talent that's like not super over, like Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Again, he could also be injured, and they're just trying to keep him on TV so people don't forget about him.
But you're right, though. We've said it time and time again that it's difficult to balance that with AEW.
Yeah.
WWE.
I could see, honestly, like, if we were to jump, like, 2-3 years into the future, I could see Powerhouse Hobbs being, like, a major player in AEW. I just feel like he is, like, almost like a wrong place, wrong time, because there are so much talent that are so over. Maybe things will change because as we go further into this year and ROH will start their weekly television programming, like, will we start seeing certain talent less on AEW television? Yeah. So then, like, you might get a little bit more openings for him. So like it's like you know what I mean? It's almost like a wrong place, wrong time. There's so much over talent that like he is just like an afterthought.
You also look at the fact that when you break down Team Taz, granted he hasn't been in it for a while, but Cage is on Ring of Honor, and then the two others, Ricky and Hook, are super over baby faces now.
Right.
So it's just like you can't just have all three of them go, yeah, we're all baby faces now. It's just like,
yeah, and I don't think Powerhouse Hobbs necessarily works as a baby face, at least not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
whatever.
I guess I wanted to air out grievances about hopefully this year will be different. Like things like with WWE where they do this thing where they have the worst thing when I watch Raw, and they do it all the time, and I know you don't know about it, and you might have seen it before. NXT does it, SmackDown does it, they all fucking do it. It pisses me off so much, is they have someone come out, talk about something, and then someone else comes out and says, well, I disagree with your points, and I just happen to come out in my ring gear. I'm like, stop fucking acting like it's just right here, right now kind of situation, and just say, hey, these two are having a match tonight. AEW, the reason I love watching it is because I'm like, I know what the match card is, and I'm excited for it. WWE, they pretend that they don't know what they're doing, and they'll be like, well, this guy disagrees with you, So why don't we have a match right now? And they're like, we're gonna do a match right as we come back. I'm like, just do the fucking, just say you're, like, just do the fucking match. Like, for example, Raw. They did Rhea Ripley and Candice. They were like, she said that she's not, like, randomly they'll just go call out some random person because they want to go, I'm gonna have a match with them. Or like, there was one with where Rhea Ripley fought, what's his name?
Akira Tozawa.
Yeah. She fought Akira Tozawa after after the Judgment Day's tag team match because she's like, "Well, I'm mad. I'm gonna fight you now." And they're like, "All right, we're doing this match." Don't just fucking say tonight we have, like, that one would make sense to be like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's
It's such a like promo. Hey, I don't like what you said about this last week. I'll meet you in the ring tonight. I'm like,
right. Well, so yeah, it's happened. WWE has done it so much that it has become like cliche, which is why it's like annoying and you don't like it. It's cliche.
so much.
It is really it is something that if done right and done well, can be really cool, can feel really spontaneous.
So-
but if overdone, doesn't work.
But so here, this is a perfect example. You said it could be done right. When it's backstage and someone has an issue and they're like, we're going to have a match, that makes sense. Half the time they do it now is where they're already in the ring and the person comes out and goes, well, I'm already in my gear and so are you. Why don't you fight me now? It's just like, if this original person who came out first did not want to wrestle anybody, why would he come out in his ring gear and then be like, I don't want to wrestle? They're like, oh, I don't want to fight Bob. Like, say Theory. Theory says something. The last week he said something about Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins came out and Seth Rollins was like, well, I'm injured still, so I'm leaving. And then Bobby Lashley was like, well, I'm still good. And Theory's like, no, no, no. But you're still in your ring gear, so you're ready to wrestle somebody.
Yeah. And there comes another thing that like AEW recognizes, but WWE doesn't. Even when they play super heavy into the general manager thing, it is like WWE never recognized or doesn't recognize the fact that like wrestlers in WWE wrestlers can come out and just make a match and it just happens.
Yeah.
In AEW, wrestlers can come out and challenge each other, and then they make a point to say when they're announcing the match for like the next week or whatever, or 2 weeks or whatever. Like, I don't know if you notice this, but when Excalibur is like announcing the next set, or when it becomes announced, he always like mentions like, oh, Tony Khan signed this match. So like these wrestlers have a problem, and so then the general manager or the person who books the matches, the booker, turned around and was like, all right, well, you guys want this, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna book it.
But
So
even if with Tony, it's a concept of it's not always Tony just and just announced and it would come up. And I think also the fact is that AEW keeps it very tight. You have to keep it very tight and go, this is what we're doing this weekend, or this is what we're doing this Wednesday. Then Friday we're doing this, and then that's the week, and then next week we'll announce it on that Wednesday, and then,
yeah, and that's also the difference between a 3-hour show versus a 2-hour show, and the difference between having a talented roster, but it also feels like there's not a lot of people on that roster versus a talented roster that is so bloated that you do not have time for all of the talent that you have.
It feels like
that are over.
With WWE, it feels like a bag of chips where it's just like, it seems like they have a lot going for them, but then you watch it and you're like, it's just a lot of bag of air. It's just air. It's like really nothing. And it's also the fact of like, I'll get an email every Monday or Friday and tell me this is the main event. And I'm like, but what are the other matches? So I can, like, that would, think about the concept of me having a 3-hour show, hearing that someone like, for me, Becky Lynch is fighting Bayley, and me go, well, I guess I don't know when it's gonna be, so I guess I'll just watch the whole thing until that match comes up.
Yeah, it may be a different. I mean, I'm not saying this is the thought process, but it may be a thought process of, booking and getting people to watch the show, and it may be a difference in opinion of how you get people to tune in for the entire show. So Tony Khan says if I have this great listing of matches and promos that are going to happen, then people will tune in. They will watch for the whole, for the whole 2 hours. They'll tune in. They'll watch because they're excited for, maybe not every single thing that we have, but they're excited enough for the overall thing that they're going to stay tuned. Whereas I think WWE takes more of an approach of, if you know what the main event is, or one of the big matches that are going to be happening on that week's show, then you're going to tune in and you're going to watch the whole thing, and we're going to surprise you with the rest of what's happening, and it's almost like you're going to tune in because you don't know what you're going to see, so you're interested in the mystery of what you're going to see.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's what they think, but in my head, I'm like, that's almost like the difference of booking, right? Like, do you watch because you don't know what's going to happen, or do you watch because you do know what's going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the concept of don't mess around with it. Like don't mess around with me. Like for example, if you look at House of Black compared to Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Bray Wyatt is not mentioned. You just hope that when you're watching the show, something will happen involving him.
Right.
You look at House of Black, they're like, even when they're like, not even have a match, they'll go, and we'll hear from the House of Black this week. It's...
Right. It's a difference between you know what you're going to get, so you tune in because you know what you're going to get, or you tune in because you don't know what you're going to get.
It's also almost like the WWE universe is almost this fickle thing that doesn't make any sense. Or like it's almost like it's its own world.
Yeah, I mean there's also two different roles at play here, right? Like AEW, I still feel like AEW, the hardcore fans are going to tune in, but they still fight to get as many viewers as they can week to week. Whereas WWE knows that they have a certain number of loyal viewer fan base who are going to watch because they're wrestling fans, because it's WWE, and because it is habit.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who don't enjoy the WWE product, but they watch it because it's a habit. And they have such a fan base. They have such a fan base of that they're able to kind of coast on the people who are going to tune in no matter what.
See, for me, I am watching Raw while working on something, which
Mhm.
means I just have it muted. And if I'm like, I don't know what's happening, I'll stop and turn on and be like, well, what are they talking about now? Or why is this thing happening?
Right.
But for the most part, I don't really try to go out of my way and watch it unless I'm working on something. It's really just something that's on TV to look at as I'm editing something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
So, that being said, what do you have issues with in wrestling right now?
What do I have issues with?
Nothing. Everything's perfect.
Nothing. Everything's perfect. I feel a little iffy about the whole WWE sale thing, and how that's all going to play out.
Do you feel as if that's tense?
I think it's causing a lot of tension in the company.
I feel
no
like
doubt, no
everybody,
doubt. I would not be surprised if, I'll say this: if the company gets sold to the Saudis, who I
don't think you can say that.
Who I have it on good authority. I have it on good authority are not Uzi.
No.
I would not be surprised if you hear about a lot of talent that's unhappy, and I would not be surprised if there are a number of talent who decide to walk out, or like a CM Punk situation. They're just like, fuck this, I'm going home. You can't make me get on a plane to come here.
Yeah.
Or they just ride out the rest of their contract, and then they'll continue coming to work and doing whatever, but then they'll be done.
Chucking up them deuces.
Yeah, and it may also depend on how long is left on their contract. One of the big ones being, Sami Zayn. If they sell to the Saudis, I really can't see Sami Zayn wanting to stay with the company. Maybe he does because he's getting a big fat paycheck and he's doing the like phenomenal work where a lot of times he doesn't even have to wrestle.
I
And
feel like
he's
the
like super over.
the usual suspects who are on the show, I feel like they will stay.
Yeah, so the reason why, here's the thing. The reason why I'm iffy on Sami Zayn is, whenever they do the Saudi shows, he can't go do the Saudi shows because of his religion.
What is he?
Um, he is some type of Muslim or something.
Okay.
I remember when they first announced the first Saudi show, it was there were not a lot of them, there were a few, and Sami Zayn was one of the ones that was not allowed to go because of his religion. And I distinctly remember Darren's looking it up, and I distinctly remember that Kevin Owens um, boycotted the first show in solidarity with Sami Zayn, and was like, "My best friend is not allowed to go wrestle on this show solely because of his religion. So I refuse to work this show."
He is. His name is. That's weird. His name is Rami, or Rami.
Sam
Rami?
Raimi?
Well, it's like Rami instead of Sammy. It's like an R instead of an S.
Oh, that's cool.
But he's a Syri- I can't pronounce it.
Siberian?
No, not Siberian. Just pronounce that for
I'm
me.
going to try to. Syrian Muslim.
Syrian. Why couldn't I say that?
I don't know.
I was like Syrian. No, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, so he's not allowed, like,
Brain
if they,
fart.
like, he can't, like, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but he's never in any of the Saudi
I've
shows.
never noticed that.
He's not
actually.
allowed, basically he's not allowed into the country because of his religion.
So he'd have to leave. Well, I mean, I'm not saying
Well,
that with
so that's-
Saudi.
Well, so that's the thing, right? The Saudis would buy it, but it would still operate out of America. So, but like, I could see Sammy being like, I don't want to work for a company that,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So like he's one that I could see like having a big problem if they
He's
sell
gonna
to the Saudis.
skank his way all the way to AEW or somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm sure there are some women that would be fine. I'm sure there are other women who would have a big problem with it. Just in general because of the way that they treat women.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean that's just my personal take on it. I think there would be huge rumblings and issues if they did. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I feel you're right. I feel Lynch she'd probably stay.
She
is the man anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
She would stay. Charlotte would stay.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Bailey would stay.
Mm-hmm. Unless you disrespected those three,
Yeah.
they won't leave.
Yeah.
What
about Monet?
She's gone.
Oh, she's gone.
Yeah, that's
Did you
exactly
hear-
why I said that.
On a different note, did you see they sold out that show?
Already?
The show, I think it's like February something. It's the beginning, I think February 10th or something. It's like the beginning of February. Kairi Sane against Monet for the women.
That's the main event.
I think it's the main event. It's the only match announced so
It
far.
would make sense that way. Wait, it's the only match announced so far, and it already
Yes.
sold out.
Correct. It's the only match announced so
What
far,
the
and it's
hell?
sold out. Which is
That's
why people are
crazy.
making a big deal about it, especially because women's wrestling in New Japan is still a very new thing, very new. Like the last 3-4 months new.
Interesting.
So yes, that show already sold out, and that's the only match announced.
Interesting. I was gonna say
I'm hoping it comes with my. I'm hoping that pay-per-view comes with my New Japan subscription, because if so, I will watch that match.
yeah. It's just a regular show, or is it a pay-per-view?
It's a
Or-
pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view. There's also only like certain things that are included in the
Some people say
package.
pay-per-view, some people say live event.
Yeah.
You know,
So
premium live event.
so from what I gather and saw from like surfing New Japan World, there are certain events, there are certain like pay-per-view events
Yeah.
that you can get with your like $8 a month subscription, and then there are certain events you have to pay extra to get.
Okay.
It would be like if WWE said, it would be like if WWE had the network still, and they were like, oh, on the network you get every pay-per-view except the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam. You got to pay an extra $30 for those or something.
Good shit.
It would be like that.
What else? Do you want me to go over Rampage for you?
Sure. The only thing I definitely 100% want to watch that I haven't gotten a chance to watch yet is the women's street fight.
Oh.
Um,
Do you not want to talk about that and you just watch it, or you want? Is
yes,
it okay
please.
to bring it up?
Okay. I would like to watch it.
There's a spot at the end that looked really bad,
Mm-hmm.
but other than that, that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah,
I actively want to watch it. I just haven't gotten a chance to yet.
I do like if you don't get the reference, and they make it very clear in the beginning, Willow and Ruby paid homage to the Dudley Boys.
That's cool.
They did the camo pants and the shirts.
Nice.
It's very funny.
Ruby.
I didn't get
Soho.
it till Ruby pushed Willow and said, "Get the tables."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, they got the camo pants on. Now I get it." So, Juice Robinson versus Darby Allin. He's rock hard.
Rock hard.
That is so silly.
Juice Robinson, rock hard.
He has to think that like he has to know. He has to
he's
know
doing
better.
it on purpose.
Okay.
He's absolutely
He
doing
seems like
it
a
on
funny
purpose.
dude.
I mean, he was part of the Bullet Club, and that kind of plays into like stuff that Bullet Club does. So
Yeah.
I think it's
Rock hard.
I think
Juice
the
Robinson.
real question is what side of the roster does he end up on?
What do you mean?
So when ROH starts a weekly show, is he an AEW wrestler or is he an ROH
I think
wrestler?
he signed with AEW.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they said he was all elite.
Okay. That'd be I was just wondering. Because like I know Bandito's on next week, but like Bandito is clearly a ROH
ROH guy.
signing.
Yeah, I'd assume AEW, because they said he was AEW official.
Yeah. Okay. I just wondered.
But you know he's not a TNT champion because he got beat by Darby Allin.
Yep.
They're doing this weird thing now where Darby Allin wins matches and then Sting comes out. Has he always done that, or he just walks out and just gives him a hug? It's just like,
no, Sting
I-
used to.
I've won my match. Come out, my approving father. He's like, son, you've won, and then he gives him a hug.
Yeah, I wonder if they're trying to go towards this. If they're like, I wonder if there's like some backstage promo or something on YouTube or something that like I missed, where like he's like, I don't want you to come out because I want to prove I can do it on my own, type of thing. Like, I wonder if that's where they're going.
Well, he did do one before he fought Samoa Joe and said, like Sting gave him this whole pep talk of like, you need to prove.
Yeah, like I wonder if that's
Like
what they're
that
doing.
thing.
They're going
Yeah.
down this route of like Darby doesn't necessarily need Sting at ringside because maybe Sting is like, maybe there's only so much left on his contract and he's kind of like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
maybe
That was the first match.
he's got Kushida.
I was gonna get to that.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna get that for
Sorry.
next week after
Sorry.
we were done.
Sorry.
The second match,
Sorry.
I've already forgotten. No, Death Triangle
Death
versus
or not Death Triangle.
no,
House of Black.
House of Black. I'm thinking it's two different groups. So that was weird. I watched most of it. I was eating cereal this morning. I forgot what I had for breakfast. But so he like they did all these things where like they tried to make it seem like it was set up to like fuck with Eddie Kingston some
Mhm.
more, and then after he pinned Eddie Kingston for the pin, he like Buddy Matthews was holding him, and he was like, "You did good, you did good, you did good," and then like they just like threw him back in the ring, and then it was like, "Oh, this is so confusing," and then Excalibur's like, "I think Aleister Black just said, or Malachi Black." Malachi Black. He goes, Malachi Black just said that he did good, and then like they're just confused, and Kingston's like getting back up. He's like, what happened? Why did he do that? And like, it's just weird.
Hmm.
But then,
Yo, I would love to see. Sorry, random
ahead.
tangent. I would love to have. Obviously, I don't think it's a pay-per-view main event, but maybe one of those special shows. I would love to see Eddie Kingston, get a world championship opportunity against MJF, because I'm just thinking about the like craziness of Eddie Kingston like in a promo with MJF
yeah,
would be fucking great.
that's true.
Don't think we're gonna get it, but it'd be entertaining
they
as
might.
shit.
They could
It'd be so entertaining, dude. Those two,
to give him a title shot.
fantastic.
I think they could do that. I mean, he'd have to be out of whatever he's doing
I just want him to be like.
and not be in New Japan.
I don't give a
fighting
fuck.
Whoever. But so okay.
MJF, I'm just gonna kick your ass. I'm done talking.
Yeah. So they did the Acclaimed had their
I saw that. I watched that.
that was kind of stupid.
I watched it on YouTube because I was like, this is not worth me opening up the TNT
Really-
app to watch.
Really stupid. Yeah.
I'm also like, I don't know. I feel like they're putting the Acclaimed on Friday because they want to like boost the Friday numbers, and the Acclaimed are over.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm like, the Acclaimed should fucking be on Wednesdays because they're over.
They're quite hot, as they say. Jade Cargill did a promo with Layla Gray or whatever the fuck her name is, and she's not worried about Red Velvet. She's worried about her 50th win, and then
What is she at?
she's about to be at 50. I believe.
She's
I don't know.
49.
I think she is.
Because I thought she was like 46 or something,
I'll look it up.
47.
Looking it up.
I could be wrong. For all we know, she could be like Goldberg. She'll come out on Wednesday and be like 62. You're like, the fuck? Where those other wins come from?
Like, don't worry about it. Hold on. Jade Cargill. Jesus Christ. What am I doing with my life?
Jade Cargill.
Okay, this says... Okay, that's... Yeah, I guess this is right. Hold on.
I mean, all we can do is really guess.
It says 47.
47. That's what
No,
I thought.
Sorry, 48.
Okay,
48.
I was gonna say I didn't think she was at the
She said
50th
she's
win yet.
focused. She's focused on her 50th, though.
And Red Velvet will be
50?
the match for 50. So it'll be like, is Red Velvet like after she like got with her and then turned on her? Is she gonna beat her? Is she gonna go 50-0?
I got instant depression when I saw Jade Cargill was 30. Jesus Christ. What am I doing with my life? Anyway,
A lot of those guys are there, or
Ruby,
like
Ruby Soho
early
just turned
30s
32,
or
and I'm
yeah,
like,
early 30s or
fuck, she's a year younger than me.
20s.
Fuck. So,
If it makes you feel any better, MJF is like 27
no.
or something like that.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm 32.
Sorry.
He's better than me, and he knows it.
And he knows it.
So, so then the match that I'll let you watch, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's anything like the New Year's one that they did.
If it was entertaining, that's all that matters.
It was hardcore. Like Ruby bled a lot,
As long as it was entertaining.
but and I think Anna Jay bled, but I couldn't tell.
Like
She
I
got-
can, I mean, I guess that's how. Like I try. I don't always succeed, but I try to be objective and stuff like that to say like, to be able to take myself a step back and say, oh yeah, like the first one was better, but I still really enjoyed this one. Like
Well-
the fact that the first one was better doesn't take away my enjoyment from the second one.
Well, it's also the fact that I think like the Bunny and Ty really went at it.
Yeah.
This one, they still went at it, but I don't think they really kind of pulled out everything.
Gotcha.
It was a lot of fun spots, but it was for the most part some weird. It just felt like I think it's part of it because it was on Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it was very edited like very. Where it's just like, oh, now this is happening, now this is happening, now this is happening. I'm like,
I gotcha.
like
I gotcha.
they cut for time. Like the fans were loving it, which I assume was longer than it actually was shown. But as far as the shown, it just felt very rushed.
Yeah, well, that's where I would love to see them use ROH potentially. Like,
Yeah,
like
you said before
Dynamite can be live on Wednesdays, and then you could do the dark taping before Dynamite, and then on Fridays you can have ROH taping prior to a live Rampage.
Rampage needs to be live.
They do it live sometimes.
It went really good the last time, which was a couple weeks ago. What was it? The first weekend this year?
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, is this live? And I was like, couldn't tell because it was like,
Yep.
But then I was like realizing it wasn't highly edited. So I was like, wait, no, this is definitely like it wasn't like, and now we're gonna go over to this thing, and it was like already ready, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But
yeah, that is one thing that I think AEW has a little bit of trouble with that they could work on is like their pacing
Rampage.
for certain things.
Rampage just needs. I think that a lot of things.
No, even Dynamite, man.
Oh no, I'm just
sometimes
saying,
there's so much shit
Rampage
happening.
just needs to be live, and I think that would get a lot more.
Yeah, I
of a feel
just
to
think
it.
there's so much shit happening that sometimes I'm like,
Have you felt that
you should
recently?
have
though,
taken
with Dynamite. I feel like
it's
been
a
pretty...
show to show. It's a show to show basis. It's not something that is like consistent, but there's a show to show basis where I'm kind of like, we should have taken one of these segments out. It's
Oh, there was also the
like it. I don't need to feel like as soon as something's done in the ring, like I don't have time to even linger or think about it. I'm already going to backstage to something else. It feels a little like too bouncy sometimes.
I forgot about Swerve talking to Renee, and then
Swerve.
they had some rapper
Swerve.
there with them, of course, because they were in LA. So it was some stupid shit.
Can we talk about Adam Cole?
Hell yeah, we can. I was waiting for. Wait, before we do that, can I talk about something that I showed you yesterday?
Sure.
If you're watching the channel, I play a lot of Siege. Last Friday night, they announced a WWE Rumble bundle. Only had 2 people in it: Undertaker as Blackbeard, and Thorne was Becky Lynch. The two, for one, okay. So the only problem with that was that Blackbeard is someone I don't use that much.
Mm-hmm.
All his ability is he puts a little bulletproof shield on the front of his gun, and that's his ability. So he's able to, peek windows and stuff without getting shot immediately. But Thorne is someone I use constantly. She's also Irish, and they just gave her the full thing. They have the Becky 2 belts little thingy on her as a charm, and I hate charms, but I put it on there anyway.
Yep.
And they put the man on the side. I pulled off, I kid you not, Saturday morning, I pulled off an ace, which again, no one probably knows, but I pulled off an ace, which means I killed every person on the other team by myself as Becky Lynch, and then fucked up the recording because I was like, oh, this is great. This is only my second game in as her, and I fucking destroyed everybody. And then I fucked it up. But, so Becky Lynch, if you get a chance, if you play Siege, if you like Siege, then check out the WWE bundle for Rainbow Six Siege for Blackbeard and Thorne. It was awesome. But getting back to video games and wrestling, Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, baby. He made a return. Super
No one
surprised. No one had any idea. I didn't see a single fucking rumor.
Goddamn clue.
I didn't see a single fucking rumor, even that day. And I was like, that was really well done.
Well, the fact that they kept saying like he might not come back at all, we're like, oh well, we don't know. We never will know when it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I popped hard. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it took me a second where I'm like, wait, because when Tony did it, Tony announced it and was like, Grimsby, great pleasure. And I'm like, well, they're doing a segment for MJF. And I'm like, wait a minute, why did he give him it gives me great pleasure to introduce this person. And then it was like the music hit. And in my head, it took me I want to say 5 seconds to register oh, that's Adam Cole. And I'm like, wait, no, wait, what?
The same thing happens.
And then I popped. Oh my God.
The same thing happens with the audience. It's pretty funny, actually. If you, I went back and watched it on YouTube and, and it's the music's it's all about the boom. And then the crowd gets up right after it says boom. So I was like, oh, they even the crowd took a second or two to register the music hitting. Which was cool. So Adam Cole's back. He was doing the whole promo. Totally, he was like, oh, there's, good news and bad news. And in my head, I was like, okay, yeah, this is where he says whatever's the good news, and then he says the bad news is for everybody else.
He did it so good.
It was it was just because something is predictable doesn't mean it's not good. That's my opinion. It doesn't have to be not predictable to be good. So Adam Cole is, seems to be back. There was this like weird moment. I don't know if like anybody else felt it, but there's this weird moment where he was like, I'm putting everybody on notice or doing this or whatever. However he was talking, I was like, somebody's about to come out and interrupt him. And for some reason, my brain went to Swerve. I was like, Swerve's about to come out, and Adam Cole will be a babyface because he's getting huge babyface reactions.
Really?
And Swerve. Oh, wow, that was a really bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
And Swerve will be like the first person he fights. And then my brain went to like, yeah, the only problem is they both really need a win, and so
Yeah.
I don't think you put them against each
As
other.
you were saying that, I thought that to myself.
I was
and
like,
I'm
Swerve really needs wins as a heel,
yeah.
but Cole really needs to win because he's coming back.
I don't think have him fight those guys.
So,
fight those two. Fight whatever the lizard monster guy.
Yeah, see, I feel like that would work if Bobby Fish was still in the company and him and O'Reilly were maybe ready to come back, because then you could do like he's fighting Swerve and then they're attacking, and then Fish and Kyle come out, and then it's like a whole big cool thing.
Yeah.
But
Bobby
that's not
Fish
happening.
was very much I don't like CM Punk, so I'm gonna open my mouth up just like CM Punk and just say whatever.
Yeah, I mean, opens the floodgates. Opens the
very
floodgates.
awkward on Ring. Was it Impact? He was very awkward on Impact. I watched the promo he did where he was like in the ring with them. It's just very awkward.
I'll have to check it out. I keep hearing that. Impact week to week Impact is usually pretty good.
Where do you? I don't know where you even watch that. Is Spike TV
I
still a
don't
thing?
know. No, they're not on Spike TV. They're on something. I think you can. They're on like Access TV or Anthem or something. I think. I was like, can you watch the whole thing on YouTube? I feel like you can. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Might be able to, but
I don't know.
that's where some of WWE's trash goes.
Yeah, I would love to see another company.
According to Mickey James.
Oh damn! I would love to see another company do something like Lucha Underground did.
What do you mean, like with the storylines?
Yeah, that's so cool.
No.
They like
So-
I don't
so-
know if you I don't know how much you know about Lucha Underground, but like Lucha Underground lived within its own world and had
Did
its
it feel
own
like a comic book kind of thing?
kinda
Where it was like superheroes and names and
Yeah.
titles and
Yeah, but like they lived within their own world, and they filmed in seasonal format. So like there were like things that like throughputs, like things that were planned at the beginning that went through to the end. There's also like so like they were like, we're gonna live within our own world and we're just gonna accept that like outside wrestling isn't a thing or whatever. So like some people have like fucking like powers and shit. Like this one guy is like fucking dead, and he like The Rock like gives him more power and shit, and like they like fully embrace and play into it. Like if you do they I think they only did 2 or 3 of them, but if you do a like a casket match, like you are put in the casket, and there's like some kind of like Mexican spell like thing that's like put on you, and like you are just like you're asleep, but like you're essentially dead in the casket, unless somebody can like come and break the spell and wake you up and shit. So and even without that, they had people who like for outside reasons legitimately just died. Like the character died and was not on the show anymore, which was kind of cool.
It sounds like a comic book.
Yeah, it was very.
When you describe it, it sounds like a comic book.
It's like pro wrestling meets comic book.
Or like
and
this Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was just cool that they lived within their own world, and like there was just an acceptance that like this is just what it is.
That person's dead now. So going back and coming back to what we were talking about, Adam Cole. Who does he fight first?
Man, I don't know. I mean,
let's think about that. On a side note, I
Yeah.
want whatever shirt that Ruby Soho and Willow wore. They wore matching shirts on Friday. I want it to be on sale because it looked cool.
Maybe it will be.
It looked like Peach Momoko did it, who's one of my favorite comic book artists. It looks very, very anime soft kind of look to it. Not that I like anime. Not many animes I like. Point is that Adam Cole, I think he should fight. I had someone in my head, now I forgot it already.
Yeah, I'm almost. There's part of me that's like, oh, Adam Cole's gonna come back, and they're gonna do the thing to like make sure he's like good and shit, where like he's gonna like fucking wrestle on like Rampage against like the Workhorseman or something for like 3 or 4 weeks before he actually does anything.
Pete Avalon.
Yeah,
Like
I legitimately.
the Wingman.
Yeah,
We'll take out all.
is that what they're
wingmen.
called now?
Well, no. Workhorseman is. JD Drake is a part of the Workhorseman and the Wingman. He's in both groups, and then him and the other guy are part of the Workhorseman, and then he's also part of the Wingman, who is that one guy from wherever he's from, a different country, the big dude. I forget what his name is.
Yeah,
And then Ziggler's brother and Peter Avalon. Who Peter Avalon cut his hair finally. He looks cool now. He
Yeah,
doesn't have the long hair.
yeah. I have this like gut feeling that like that's what they're gonna do with Adam Cole. He's not
Just
gonna
have
go
him-
into a major rivalry right away.
Have him squash someone and then have that lead into a rivalry.
Yeah, I don't know. I have like this fear that like there's gonna be a couple weeks of him just like wrestling those guys on.
You know what? Also, speaking of
Rampage.
Wednesday, they definitely built up that Moxley and Hangman match,
Yeah,
which was interesting because it was like there were no stakes. It was strictly just like, and it wasn't like a hardcore slugfest. It was just like
Yeah.
a legit match where it was like they build it up, and I'm like, is there something going on that they're fighting for that I don't know about? Because it's
No.
like very much built up.
yeah, and you know I think that they kind of like.
It was smart.
Yeah, I think they rolled with the ball, or they played the hand that they were dealt with. Hangman getting that concussion and getting injured, and they were like, "This is a fucking storyline."
Yeah. They just went with
Um,
it.
I agree with I forget who it was that texted and said, "Oh, they're 1-1 now. They'll probably have like a rubber match at Revolution," which wouldn't surprise me if they have a rubber match at Revolution.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I feel like it was like they could have ended it right there. I feel.
They could have,
Were
because of how it ended. I don't think they are.
Yeah.
Like there was clearly the like, oh, the doctors are going to go check on Moxley, and I was like, oh, well, this is manufactured.
Well, yeah, I felt like it was more so because it also could be a bow where you just put a bow on it and you're all right, that's over. Moxley moves on. Hangman fights somebody else.
They could.
Even with the
I see. I feel like if Hangman had won, and they didn't do the thing where Moxley was like, well, the doctors are checking on him, thing at the end, then I would have been like, oh, this is a nice bow. They can move on. But because of that, I'm now like, and maybe they do move on. But like because of that, I'm now kind of like, oh well, I think we're gonna have a third match.
it bothers the fuck out of me who fights Adam Cole next.
Mhm.
AR Fox. I don't know. Somebody.
AR.
I'm just glad AR Fox is on that promotion now. Because he's someone that I remember watching and being like, oh, that guy. Like, I remember coming out of CZW and going, that guy is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And he deserves to be on a show. And then he finally was on a show, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
He trained, I think I want to say Jade. He trained somebody, a female wrestler that is in AEW now. I think it was Jade.
Interesting.
It's either Jade or, I want to say Athena. Maybe not Athena, because Athena went to WWE.
The Cargill machine.
The Cargill machine?
I don't know.
Is that a thing you just made up?
Yeah.
Also,
Just trying something.
thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
You remember that guy on Wednesday night who won a Golden Globe?
Yeah.
He gets wailed with a guitar, and
I
I'm
did see
so
that.
glad he took that bump or whatever you want to call it.
I
He
did
took
see that.
hit. I was like, wow. And I thought they were gonna like, swear to God, Danhausen and him. I was like, well, they're gonna get like smashed, and Danhausen's gonna get hit with the guitar. And then I was like, oh, they're gonna hit the actor who's done things and could get injured. They're going to have him get hit with the guitar. And then I was like, no, someone's gonna come out. And then they hit him with the guitar, and I'm like, Oh, well, good for him for taking that
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah, I did see that.
That was pretty cool. It was almost like he came to them and went, "Hey, I really want to get just beat up."
What did he win a Golden Globe for?
Supporting actor for, I forget what movie it was,
Okay.
but I know he was in a movie that people liked.
Okay. Because the only thing the only thing that I've seen him in is Cobra Kai, and I was like, I know he didn't win a
Was he in
Golden
Cobra
Globe
Kai?
for and I was like, I know he didn't win a Golden Globe for Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I don't know what he won exactly for.
Interesting.
Uh,
I do like that they played off him and Hausen on Wednesday. When he was like, yeah, because his last name's like Hauser or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
And he was like, Hausen.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he was like, that's not my last name.
um,
That was entertaining.
oh, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett did an acceptance speech after they stole his Golden Globe.
Oh.
It just was announced, I guess, Saturday or Friday. They did something to mock him because they took his Golden Globe from him. So I'm sure he might still be on the show on Wednesday. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because they're not just going to be. I mean, I feel like it'd be weird if they go, he's not coming back on Wednesday or Friday, and they're just going, that's it.
Yeah.
And he's
Or
definitely
maybe he's not there on Wednesday, but he's there like the following week or something because they're like, oh, he's hurt from I'm doing this for my friend, and then
yeah, he'll come back eventually. And
yeah,
just,
when Orange Cassidy goes 1-on-1 with Jeff Jarrett, that's when he'll come back because I think he's fighting Jay Lethal this week.
That'll be all. I want to see Jeff Jarrett versus Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, because
That's
I think he's going 1-on-1 with Jay Lethal this week, so I could see like I could see him not coming back until he fights Jarrett.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I love the best friends.
They're another group that I'm not sure which side of the fence they end up on.
The Lethal and Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah, Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh. Do they go to ROH?
Do you think there's going to be swing groups where they just go from place to place?
Probably.
That'd be really cool.
Probably. Most likely. Although I don't know. I really
It's
feel
completely
like it would
possible
be nice
considering AEW and R. Like, I mean, for like rivalries. Like,
yeah, I
like,
mean it's
show
totally
up-
possible. It would be cool if I don't know. It'd be cool, but then I also kind of want to be like, I want to watch AEW when I'm watching AEW.
well, I know. I
But-
mean, like for like say
If they do it sparingly, yes, it would be really cool.
exactly. Like if they go like, oh, I've destroyed everyone in the locker room, and then like I don't know, Brian Cage comes out and challenges whoever, whatever. and
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe Tony Khan will have like a really crazy episode of Dynamite where he'll be like, I'm here, and some other guy who's going to be the general manager of ROH, we're gonna draft.
I don't.
We're going to draft these superstars.
I don't want to do that. I don't wanna do that.
I don't
But
think he's going to do
I think
that.
there's going to be a crossover between. There's no thing saying that they are an ROH exclusive person. I don't see why they couldn't just go.
Yeah.
That person's gonna, he comes over and shows up, goes, "Hey, I want to fight you," and then fights them.
Yeah.
But
I do want to do a draft against you.
a draft against me
Mm-hmm.
for what?
I don't know, just for fun. Who would we draft? Who would we want to draft? What order would we draft them in?
We should just
How
do that-
annoyed would we get at each other for taking each other's draft picks?
We should just do that series I was gonna do with Bones. I don't know when I'm gonna do that now with the Waffleverse. But anyway,
Dude, don't get me started on the Waffleverse.
yeah. Please tell me where you got confused.
The video says part 4.
Yes. No. The part 4 is of Half-Life Alex.
I was trying to scroll through your videos and could not find a
So
video that
this is-
says part 3,
This is the confusing
part 2,
So you
or
want to
part 1.
You want to hear the confusing part about that? Is that at the end of part 4, it shows the clip and has the link to part 3,
Oh, does it?
and then part 3 will show you to part 2, and then so on and so forth.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
I know. Well, I mean to watch it, yeah, but it's if you missed that one.
How long ago was part 3? Because I looked at like the last 2 or 3 weeks videos, and I was like, where the
it
fuck
was a
is this
while
video?
ago. The whole concept is that I haven't finished these games,
And
and
it
I
was like
wanted
last
to.
time, and I was like, last time, where the fuck is
Yeah.
the other video? So I don't have to
So like 3 games came across when I started doing videos that I didn't finish, which was Half-Life Alyx I didn't finish, which I don't know why I wouldn't. It's a great fucking game. I might do a bonus video at the end of it where I finish all the achievements on Steam. I'm still working on that, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time for that.
Mm-hmm.
But Halo Infinite, Prey, and Half-Life Alyx were the 3 games I'm like, I never finished these. I just did a couple of videos and then gave up on them and then moved on to whatever else. So I was like, I want to do something that would be cool to intricately bring them back into it to make me have to play them and then also have a storyline behind it. So that was the whole point of the Waffleverse. And I just wanted to have something where people have to actually pay attention to what I'm doing so that way they go, oh, this is fun. They're
Yeah.
continuously doing a story.
No, that's a great idea.
Because I figured
I like
it'd make more sense. And there's going to be like tributes and homages to stuff. The second season, I really wanted to do a Turtles thing.
Turtles.
I don't know how, but I wanted to have us all have turtle things. But there's going to be little things here and there that I wanted to do. That's
Turtles.
going to be, it's going to be, like kind of. I mean, it's all thanks to Bones. I'm gonna be honest. The Bones' blueprint right now is doing a funny sketch in the beginning on VR chat and then doing a funny sketch at the end of it. So I was like, well, why don't we do like stories that actually make sense and can continue throughout the game? Because then I'll keep on playing that game. Because some games you just do one game play and then you're like, all right, I'm done with this game.
Yeah.
So it was really the point of doing story-driven games like Half-Life Alyx and Prey and Halo, and there's other games that are going to come out. I'm hoping to do God of War, the first one, the reboot one. Boy. And I'm just really excited to do that. Unfortunately, there's no story-driven wrestling game, which is what this podcast is about, wrestling. So going back to that,
No story-driven wrestling game. Interesting.
I mean, I'm sure there is, but
I am actually I actually got like super inspired, and I kind of want to like finally pull the plug on doing a general manager YouTube channel
General Manager YouTube channel. What do you mean?
so there's like the game Total Extreme Wrestling, which is a like text-based I mean there's like graphic UI stuff, but like it's not like you wrestle matches or anything.
Yeah, I think you told me about this.
Where you're just solely a booker for your shows. Booker T.
Sorry,
T.
I'm doing the Booker T. Which I have a
and-
thing we'll get to when you're done. with
Okay.
that.
And I so for the longest time I've been like I should just I should start a game and so it was made so and they have like real world mods. And so I was like I should just take one of those real world mods and play as like the AEW booker and just like have a fun time and just like do a YouTube video where it's like this is what I'm doing this week, like this is what's happening this week, and then like just weekly.
I
So, yeah.
think like I was explaining to my friend today where Fallout constantly works. I think if people are into that thing, they'll watch it.
Yeah.
Like if people are like, because like I used to stream Fallout like years after it came out, and people would come over and go, "Oh, hey, where, how far are you? Where you at? What have you done so far?" Like it would be stuff like that, and I'd be like, I don't. Most like people that would come in would be like, "Oh, I love this game." It's just like, well, yeah, most people, and since it's such a open world, the fact that you could do in the booking thing, like multiple different options or multiple ways of doing it.
Yeah.
You could be like, people would be like, "Oh, I wonder what he's gonna do this week or
Yeah, do whatever I want.
Yeah.
For in reality, what I want to do is to find somebody or have somebody where I do it like with them. So like we would, because you can have multiple players. So like I would,
competing
yeah,
because you explained it to me before. But
yeah. So like I like, for me, I was like, oh, I would love to like do it with, I'll just use you because you're sitting here. Like I would love to do it with you where we like split the, like let's say we take we move the Raw, or we move Raw back to 2 hours and we do like Raw and SmackDown and we book, and we could we don't have to take those rosters, we can draft those rosters. Or we could say, hey, I'm gonna run I'm gonna run Raw and SmackDown, or I'm gonna run AEW and WWE, and we could keep those rosters. Or again, I think part of the fun thing if you were playing with somebody else. I think part of the fun thing would be not just taking roster and starting with who's in that roster, but to like start from scratch and be like, oh, like who do you want from your promotion?
Mm-hmm.
And they could even be people who aren't signed to major deals. Like I could turn around and be like, I want Nick Gage, or Matt Cardona, like stuff like
Those
that.
are people not on
Those
TV.
are people not on TV. So like I
That's
think that's where
crazy.
part of the fun would be, and then like we're booking our shows. We're both trying to get like the most amount of like fans or whatever. But yeah, I was thinking about finally pulling the plug on that and doing some booking.
Do some booking.
Do some booking.
What are you gonna do? Put it up on your channel?
Yeah. Yeah, just put it up on
Look
YouTube.
at my booking.
Look at my booking.
So there were rumors of New Day versus Harlem Heat for WrestleMania.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
I saw that somewhere.
Where? Well, not that it
On,
matters where, but it seems
um,
like a really odd
it
choice.
was one of those like, well, because the fact that they're on NXT, Booker T is an announcer for NXT right now, and they always kind of like talk about how the greatest tag teams, and then Booker's always the guy on commentary. No, they're not the greatest tag team.
Okay, so there's actually a reason.
There is little notions where they're like, they'll say something like Xavier and Kofi will say something, and then you'll hear Booker go, no. And it was like it almost seems like he's just like trying to, like it doesn't seem like they're like, hey, get a point that they're saying this because this is going to be important later. It's just kind of funny to be like, they're messing with the old man and he's getting frustrated. with it.
Okay. So there's actually a reason behind it. When you first started that explanation, you
Seemed
were
out
like,
of nowhere.
well, they're on NXT and Booker T's an NXT commentator. I thought you were just going to stop at that, and I was
No.
like, that's it.
There were
just
things
on the
where
same
like,
show,
they're
so we should-
saying things to piss him off. 'Cause
Okay,
they
okay.
know it's
So
it's
there's
not true.
okay. So there's legitimate. There's okay. I got you.
Yeah. So it's
I'm sure that Booker T is in good enough shape that he could go.
he is. They said
um,
he's been wrestling at his own promotion.
Okay.
So he's looking pretty good.
The what's the other guy's name?
Stevie Ray,
Stevie Ray.
his brother,
Is Stevie
which
Ray
I thought
in?
wasn't his real brother, and I'm like, oh no, that's actually his brother.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't
I
know
watched
that.
a documentary on Booker T. I'm like, oh, they're legitimately brothers.
I didn't know that.
And it was a thing of like Booker T wanted so badly to get into wrestling, and then his brother was like, I should try this thing with my brother, and he's just like, all right, yeah, sure, come on in, and and he trains him and everything like that.
Yeah. I wonder if his brother is in any type of shape to be able to do a match.
He might be. Not a bad guy. Not very good at keeping a straight face. If you've ever seen bloopers for wrestling,
Oh.
but Booker T isn't good at. He has his own bloopers for wrestling as well.
Yeah, he does.
Everyone knows that one, I think.
Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
We coming for you.
Is there anything
40
else? I mean,
seconds.
I feel like my voice just cracked there, but I
It
feel
did.
like there's really, there's a lot of people saying the whole company of wrestling of WWE is doomed, and I have not a care in the world. The only thing I feel bad for is the people in it.
I don't think that the company's doomed. I think that the company will continue to be the company.
I do.
I think they would have to make. I think they would have to make a lot of really big, significant problems and terrible decisions for it to really affect much of anything with that company. Like they're so big, like
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like the too big to fail type thing.
Yeah.
They're totally in that position.
Which is why I don't think they'll ever change that formula that I said in the beginning of the podcast, where I was complaining about them doing this stupid bullshit that they set up stuff.
Yeah, especially with I think 2024 is when I forget if it's 2023 or 2024 is when the TV rights deals are up, and then they can negotiate to try to get higher to get higher payouts for their shows. I have no doubt that they're gonna get a ton of fucking money for the rights for Raw and SmackDown. There's no doubt in my mind. Like we are in a content driven
World.
We're in a content-driven world where everybody's looking for content, and it is a huge plus that they are a weekly program that is live,
Program.
and that can't be or isn't pre-taped, so then you can release everything at once. So it forces everybody to come back to your channel, come back to your platform every single week to watch what's going to happen next, which is a huge plus. So like in this content war world, the things that are making the most money on TV rights and TV deals are sports, and like sports and live sports
Well,
entertainment.
there's sports entertainment, yeah.
Sports entertainment. But yeah, like if you look at the stuff that's getting the most money and making the biggest deals and stuff, you're talking about like WWE, NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, all of those things. Like
did
Amazon, I don't know, you probably don't because you don't watch football. Amazon
No.
paid a shit ton of money
Oh yeah.
to
'cause they
have Thursday
that.
Night Football on Amazon
I saw
Prime.
that.
And you can't watch Thursday Night Football unless you're on Amazon Prime. And that was a huge fucking money deal.
Do you think they're going to go with Saudi? Like, where do you think they're going to go, and where do you want them to go?
Where do I think they're gonna go? Honestly, I don't feel like I have enough information about who is even interested to
Okay.
like.
Well, where would you want them to go?
Where would I want them to go? Personally, I don't want them to go with the Saudis. I think that would be like a bad business decision. Maybe I don't know. I mean, see, that's the thing.
Do you need time? Because I can.
I don't know. Like I'm the only other like person I can think of that would have the only other company I can think of that would have the money to buy it would be Disney. But I don't know if that's like I don't know if that's really a good choice, to be honest. I don't feel like it is.
I want to see a Disney special or a Disney Simpsons special where Lisa learns a lesson from the man.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Or
Like
just in general, just somebody.
like I've only legitimately heard three names or companies that are interested that seem to be potentially interested in buying.
Someone can teach Bart how to burn it down.
That'd be cool. That'd be
I just thought of that now.
Be perfect.
Anywho, yeah.
That's the Saudis, Disney, and Nick Khan. Khans.
Nikon? Nikon?
Nick Khan. Isn't that his father?
No, his father is something else. Nick Khan works for WWE.
Oh, I thought his father was also Nick
I forget what
Khan.
his father's name isn't something American, which is why I don't know it. Talking about Tony Khan's dad, right?
Yeah. Honestly, at this point, I don't think they're buying WWE. It doesn't make a lick of fucking sense.
A lick of fucking sense.
That's my opinion. I don't think it makes any fucking sense to like the only way it would make sense to buy WWE is if you're just gonna trash AEW or put somebody else in charge of AEW.
Shahid Khan.
Shahid Khan. Okay. That's just my personal opinion because you have a wrestling organization. You have two wrestling organizations.
Yeah.
You have ROH
Well,
and AEW.
that was the thing Bones mentioned. Bones was like, well, what if Tony Khan buys them? Like, I don't want them to buy them because then it
I don't
becomes a
think he does.
monopoly again, and it's no fun.
Yeah,
if
I don't think he does. I don't
And
think it makes any.
Even he said he's like, there's always should be competition between the companies.
Right.
If he buys WWE, that makes no sense for him and how he feels about competition.
Correct. And like not even from a wrestling wise, I think from a business standpoint, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. The only way it makes sense for him to buy WWE is if he's going to offload AEW and ROH to somebody else.
It's ridiculous how they could fucking just ring us out for money if they worked together.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just it's
Well,
ridiculous.
Right.
'Cause
So from a business perspective, right? If he were to buy WWE,
I don't mean
WWE makes a lot of money, a lot more money than AEW and stuff. So it doesn't make sense for him to keep AEW and ROH. Like those, like in my opinion, they'd be sold off.
I don't mean to be like in general like him buying them. I mean like in general the fact of if they just talked together and said, "Hey, let's do what New Japan did and do it." Like we talked about the
Mhm.
fantasy draft or fantasy booking. If they just did that, the fucking world would lose their fucking mind.
Yeah.
Because people would be like, "Oh my god, this person's gonna." I mean, they'll they're gonna if they could work together and milk all their fucking fans, they'd make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then do it rarely do like every other 2 years do like a collaboration. People would just be like fucking flipping shit. It'd be bigger than WrestleMania,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And it'll so here's right, it'll never happen while Vince has any type of control or say in the
Fuck.
company. Which is a big problem right now.
It's good shit.
Yeah. I don't think it happens all while Vince has any say in what's happening. So yeah. That's just
shit.
That's my opinion. Just one man's opinion.
Just one man's opinion.
Just one man's opinion.
Do you think there will be firings? Since we're still in the Vince thing, do you think there will be firings anytime soon?
Probably not. I don't think there
Think
will
things
be.
will stay the way they are.
I think things are going to stay generally the way they are. I think if they do sell, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bunch of either firings or a bunch of
Layoffs.
or people leaving because that was what was agreed upon in the sale.
Mhm.
Because there's like the whole like, hey, we're the board of directors. Well, a lot of the, and this might not happen, right? But there's a lot of talk of like, oh, they want to sell it and make it private again. Well, then, like, you don't technically need a board of directors because the board of directors is for publicly
Yeah.
owned and traded companies. So like, not that you're fired, but like a buyout essentially.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't think a lot's going to change right now. I think if they do sell, I would not be surprised if there is a lot of change. And that's like the ultimate thing, right? Like they could sell, and they could be like, I don't want Triple H and whoever's at the top, especially if they're not a publicly traded company anymore. Whoever privately owns it could say, I don't want Triple H booking my shows. Bye.
Get them the fuck out.
The one thing that I'm slightly nervous about because I have no doubt that Vince wants to be in charge of creative again, and he's in charge of the sale and all that. I would not be surprised if a condition of sale is that Vince has to be in charge of creative for like maybe there's like a 5-year thing, like a condition of sale is that Vince gets to be head of creative for the next 5 years or something.
Hopefully
yeah,
he'll die by then.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that could happen with a sale that could change a lot of things.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
I think that's about it. I did want to bring up a story.
It heals all
you-
wounds.
Did you hear about the gorilla? Is it gorilla match that they had?
Gorilla Monsoon?
No, it was what's the promotion? Gorilla something.
Oh, oh fuck.
Oh, fuck.
PWG. Pro Wrestling
PWG?
Gorilla. Yeah.
So PWG, did you hear about the little cameo they did?
You talk about Jericho Appreciation Sunday?
I like what they did there.
Cameo. They did a whole match.
Yeah, but the fact of like they're like, well, we're only set out to do. They only had Danny Garcia, and then they go, oh, he's like, I don't wrestle with with pro wrestlers. I wrestle with sports entertainers.
Yeah.
And then having them all come out and do a match, I'm like, that is awesome. Because imagine being there and going like, wait, what? We're gonna watch a Jericho match? Like,
yeah.
to just be like, whoa, holy shit, that's just so cool.
Yeah.
That's like a fun little surprise. It's like when they do those things where they're like, hey, talk about this person. They're like, oh, I love The Rock. And then he's like standing right behind someone. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Oh my God, it's The Rock.
But yeah, I thought that was cool. That was a fun thing. Even if they're heels, still fucking great.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. And something that is able to be done because they're in AEW. Or because they worked something out, which wouldn't happen with the other company. Although times may be a changing because Carl Anderson was allowed to fulfill a final match for New Japan to lose the championship. Shinsuke Nakamura wrestled the
But
Great Muta.
Is that a concept of the plans that Triple H made? Or is that something that they're like, we're slowly getting favorable to other promotions?
I think it's a Triple H thing.
So do you think it'll keep happening with Vince being back, or do you think it's
with Vince being back,
you know
I
what
don't
mean?
know.
Like it's like one of those things where it's just like, oh, well, you can't do that. He's like, well, we already made plans to do it, so we're gonna do it, and then after that, he can say whatever he wants.
It depends on how the plans are made. Is there like a signed contract, or is it just
Yeah.
a handshake
That's
deal?
what I mean. Is it like one of those where it's like, are things going to change back to normal now that Vince is?
Yeah, I mean Triple H is not. I mean he's done it before. He did it uh for NXT. One of the earlier NXT pay-per-views had Tyler Breeze against Jushin Thunder Liger, who basically came in, did that one match on NXT, and that was it. So I
Which,
mean Triple H has done it before.
I know we were about to finish up, but I remember that Darby Allin's fighting. What's his face?
Kushida.
Kushida. That's the guy with the. He does the one you talk too much thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's an Impact talent.
Yeah, he was. I remember he was on with the Motor City. It was like their team was the Motor City Time Machines or something like that.
Yeah.
It
Just
was-
Motor City Machine Guns, and then I think Time Machine is the
Yeah.
name of his group with
one of them.
Alex Shelley.
Yeah. Which is interesting. Is he just really into Back to the Future? What's with the?
Yeah, I mean, I
He's
don't know.
got all the get-ups.
He's
of,
got
like,
the Back to the Future getup, man.
He's got Doc Brown glasses and then the fucking puffy jacket
The
thing.
puffy jacket, yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything else to say?
I do not.
For having such a nice ass, Ty Conti is a tough motherfucker. I'm gonna be honest. I also, as watching the tag team match today, I just realized that she's fucking tough as shit.
Yeah.
But she's
She's got a nice ass.
a lot of people know she's got a nice. It's not like something I'm being weird about. It's just she's got a nice butt. She shows it off. She knows she's got a nice butt. You know, she has
Yeah.
OnlyFans for a reason. I mean, come on. She knows.
Yep.
She knows what she's got is
You
what
know.
people want to
You
see.
know.
They even used it in fucking Sammy's thumbnail. She
Oh,
didn't even
man.
show her butt in that video.
I know.
I watched it just to be so like I
You
wanted to
fuckers.
before I told you I was gonna be like, let me make sure it's not in the and it wasn't at all. And I'm like, well, that's kind of disappointing.
I saw the
Don't-
thumbnail and I scrolled through it and was like, oh,
Don't clickbait us.
this stuff.
Exactly. She's got a nice ass.
Yeah, she does.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We'd love to hear from you. Comment below your favorite wrestler. Do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, we don't even care. We have fun with this regardless.
Yeah.
And what are they supposed to do?
Do the needful.
Right on. Okay, bye.
Even I'm gonna fucking like pop when he fucking suplexes him. I'm gonna be like, yes.
Yeah, I kind of had that in my head too, where I was like, wait a minute, don't do that now.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Wait.
No, you gotta wait. You gotta let it simmer. Don't wait too long.